Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing My Friend Dahmer, which is the graphic novel by Derf Backderf. I was debating whether I should buy this graphic novel, as I recently watched, or fairly recently watched, a video online about how the victims confronted Dahmer in the courtroom and how the families of the victims expressed their hatred and dislike towards Dahmer, and it was a really powerful piece of media. It really was. But I was thinking, do you know what? I am going to read this because I have been watching the Netflix series Dahmer, which is interesting. I'm just over halfway through. I've only got about 3-4 episodes to go. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'll get it. But before I continue, guys, I want to make two things as crystal clear as I possibly can. One, I want to show my sympathy and respect towards the families of the victims and towards the victims themselves. As a individual that finds these people interesting and in a way fascinating, I feel that the victims are kind of forgotten about. They're kind of swept underneath the rug. They're kind of the secondary thought to the killer themselves. So anyway, I just want to make it clear, guys, that I want to show my deepest respect to the families of the victims if they are watching this. And also, I just want to make it clear, guys, that I am not glorifying what Jeff Dahmer did. I am not putting him up on a pedestal and, you know, looking up to him as a hero. He is not an individual that should be glorified or respected. He is a monster, and yeah, I just want to make that clear, guys. Also as well, that I won't be showing any pictures of any of the victims or any of the crime scenes. If you want to watch that, you can watch that stuff online. So I just want to dedicate this video to a channel called BADisRAD's Library. She recently did a kind of Dahmer TBR inspired video because she was watching the Dahmer Netflix series, which I'm about 3, maybe 4 episodes away or from finishing. And yeah, she really did a really great episode, and she wasn't even aware about this book's existence. So this is especially for her. I will have her channel linked down below. So only watched about 3 videos of hers, but I loved every single one of them. She's a really strange and quirky and different individual, so I will have a link down below. So this is especially for her. So this is going to be, I don't really want to say a spoiler free video, but I won't really say what happens in case you aren't following, or if you don't know who Dahmer is, which you really should do. And also, this is just going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. So let me just show you the artwork. The artwork is really, really great. It really is. It's all done in black and white, and without showing anything too oddball. So yeah, and I read this whole thing in one day. I picked it up because I had it delivered somewhere, and I read it all in one day. And that is the flaps on either side, and there's a picture of the author as well. I read the whole of the graphic novel. There is, oh, there's a picture of Jeff himself in high school. And I read the intro, which is only about 2.5 pages long. At the back there is, where is it? There is some source material. Now when you get to this part, guys, do not skip it. Do not skip this. This is kind of like the whipped cream and cherry on the, on top of the cake. This will give you loads of information. Basically what this is it's like interviews with Dahmer, and it also has page numbers, and it has like notes from the author himself saying what's happened in this scene and his memories and thoughts about it. So do not skip that section. If you want to know a bit more about Jeff and Derf's experience with him, as knowing him in high school, then I would highly recommend that you continue reading the notes at the back. It kind of reads like a novel, but you can read it as a novel, or you can like say, okay, page 64 for example, this is what the author wrote. I'll go and check and I'll read that, and I'll read the notes as well. So whatever you want to do. So unlike the Netflix series, which focuses on Dahmer as an adult, yes, it does have flashbacks where he's in high school and as a young boy, but it mostly focuses on him as an adult. If you haven't watched it, it starts off with him getting caught after his last victim escaped and made the police aware about him. And then it's just about him going to court, and it's all about flashbacks about his childhood and him and his time in high school and where it all went wrong. But this focuses around Jeff's high school days, his days in high school. It's a really powerful graphic novel, it really is. It's not graphic at all. Yes, it can be when he's chopping up animals and has animals in jars of acid, and how he throws one on the floor and how it makes all these smells and all that stuff. There is a scene where he's chopping up a fish which he's just recently caught from a lake, but it is a good scene in this. I can't believe I've actually said good in referring to this, but it is a scene where he shows compassion to a dog that he wants to, or he's planning to kill, but at the last minute he decides to let it go. Now Derf is an actual student in the school, and I'm pretty sure that's him on the cover. That's Derf, I'm pretty sure. And like the cover says, he refers to himself as a friend of Dahmer's. Now, it's not really a traditional friendship. He knows that there's something off with Jeff, and he knows that he never ever wants to be alone with him. He doesn't want to go to his house. He doesn't want to have any social interactions with him. But he finds Jeff and his personality to be extremely interesting, as Jeff is a oddball and he does all this weird stuff. And when I mean that, Jeff, most of the time in this book, in order to probably feel accepted amongst Derf and amongst his peers and fellow students, he thinks that it's appropriate to act that he has a disability, that he has all these twitches, and he speaks in a slurred way and acts disabled. And everyone finds this incredibly funny, and they even form a fan club for Jeff. But Jeff doesn't really have any friends, to be honest. People are intrigued by him. Fellow students are intrigued by him. They don't really think he's a nice guy. They think he's very odd and peculiar. They don't think that he can ever hurt anyone. They just think he's just really weird. They know about his parents, about how his parents are always arguing. Now, there is a comparison between Derf's family life, which is the nice American family life, which is a nice parents and a nice home life, when Jeff's experience at home was very broken. I feel that he was ignored as a child, and how his parents were constantly arguing and fighting with each other. His parents are shown in this book and are mentioned in this book, as well as Jeff's younger brother David, which is briefly mentioned, but as Derf said in the book, he was too young, he didn't know him, and he's not really essential to Jeff's descent into madness. Jeff as a person was extremely quiet. He was bullied pretty much all the time, and he had a fascination with animals, specifically about what they looked inside. Now, it's natural for a boy to be curious about these types of things, about how things work, and curious about death. And it's also natural for and normal for kids to feel that they are alone and they are bullied all the time, and that they come from a broken family, which parents are always arguing. And even Derf said in the book that they didn't really think that this was a big thing, really, because they didn't really see any you know, like alarm bells. That they didn't see any alarm bells that Jeff would do something like this. When Jeff is in this book by himself, he doesn't talk. He doesn't hear any voices in his head. He doesn't talk to himself. I think in a way he knew what he was doing. He knew that he knew what he was doing to these animals. He had a fascination with, you know, dominance and controlling people and not wanting them to leave. And I think that that's a big part of what affected him as a child with his parents, that he was constantly by himself all the time and his parents weren't there or hardly ever there. People were always leaving him, and I think that that's what made him want to maybe control people, and have them stay with him all the time. I'm not condoling what he did or thinking or saying that that was the right thing for him to do. I'm just saying that, yeah, I think that that's what contributed to it. And even Derf said in this book, like, basically, where the hell were all the parents? Where were Jeff's parents? Why didn't they see this? Why didn't any of the teachers or counselors at the school notice Jeff's oddball personality and that, you know that something was off with this individual? And there are scenes in this book where Jeff is alone with people. Like, there's a scene where he's at a lake fishing and he catches a fish and he cuts it open and he basically says that he wanted to find out what it looked like on the inside. And, you know, I don't know, I mean, and you know what, I have my suspicions about why he maybe have, you know, committed these things, or what was the turning point in his life. The Netflix series and in documentaries I've seen online, there were like instances where he had like a brain operation or something like that, or a med school operation that was indicated that was a turning point for him. But I felt that he was isolated and he just wanted to be accepted and have someone in his life that always was constant and always was there. But at the end of the day, he was a twisted individual. He knew perfectly well what he was doing. He wasn't insane. He knew exactly what he was doing. And yeah, he made his bed and he had to lie in it, basically. So that's all I really had to say about this graphic novel. If you are interested in the Netflix series Dahmer, or if you're interested in this individual, then yeah, I would recommend this. Just don't expect this to be overly gory. Do not expect to get answers. It doesn't address why Jeff did the things that he did, or have a look into his mind. It doesn't have a look about what makes him tick, basically. He is what he is, and that's simply that. So yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to say, really. I could have said more. I could have made this video longer than it already is, or was, or whatever, but I want to cut it off here. And you know, hopefully I've expressed myself properly. Hopefully I've given you enough information about this graphic novel. I was going to say wonderful graphic novel, but yeah, it is a powerful novel. It really is. And yeah, about this troubled individual. And I mean, even Derf said that you shouldn't feel sympathy for Jeff, and he had this chance to turn himself in and to stop what he was doing, but he decided not to. But anyway, hopefully I've given you enough information to make up your own mind whether you want to read this or not. Let me know down below if you're interested in reading this or buying this or giving it a go. Let me know if you're watching the Netflix series Dahmer, and let me know what you think about that. And also don't forget to check out BADisRAD's library. You know, I'll have a Dahmer inspired video linked down below as well, so please check her out, watch that video, and yeah, let's spread the love, guys. So yeah, with all that out of the way, all said and done, I will see you in my next one.